Hey, what's up, everybody? Gonna do a classic rock reaction, man. This is a complimentary quad. A complimentary quad featuring the music of David Bowie. And man, continuing with the David Bowie reactions, you kind of get these patterns go. And so the last number of quads especially have been featuring David Bowie, both studio and live stuff, and some stuff that I haven't heard before. So check this out, man. We've got a David Bowie quad here featuring Space Oddity live, Aladdin Sane studio, Fame live, and Let's Dance live. So man, looking forward to that. David Bowie live is totally another dimension that I haven't really experienced and delved into. So I'm really happy to see these recommendations. So man, before I pop this off, I just want to give a shout out and a thanks very much to Amy Brooks. Amy, thank you, man. I appreciate these recommendations. Also sending the links. So Amy's got a note. She says, hello STB, how are you doing this evening? Thank you for all that you give us with your hard work, thoughtful and brilliant insights, and the love that you put into all of it. My husband and I now have a regular tradition of watching your reactions. It's become such a fixture in our lives. Fantastic, man. That's good stuff. Sasha Ames, you're the shit. Shout out to you. Sasha also sent me a David Bowie quad just a couple of weeks ago. That's Amy's husband. I'd like to submit a quad for classic rock. Hopefully David Bowie is all good. I've got some really killer live cuts for you from different eras, plus a studio version of one of my favorite Bowie songs that features the fantastic Mike Garson on piano, executing, in my opinion, one of the most compelling piano solos of all time. I hope you enjoy the hell out of these. Right on, Amy. The thing I like about Amy the most, I don't know if it's the most, but she writes the exact same way that I talk. You know, it's kind of like the flip side of me, but in lady form, Amy writes exactly the way I talk. All right, man, let's check this out. So this is Space Oddity live. Right on. Looking forward to this, man. David Bowie, Space Oddity live. I was just about to say let's get it, but the link is still opening. Okay. All right, there we are. Damn, man. Okay. David Bowie, Space Oddity live. Let's get it. Midnight Special. Great show. Getting chills, man.
Ground control to me is on. Ground control to me is on. Take your protein pills and put your helmet on. Control to me is on. Dancing countdown, engine on. Recognition, and may God's love be with you. Ground top. You really made it great, and the papers want to know whose shirts you wear. Now it's time to leave the capture if you dare. This is Major Tom to ground control. I'm stepping through the door, and I'm floating in a most peculiar way. And the stars look very different today. Oh, here am I floating in my tube.
Fantastic, man. David Bowie and the Midnight Special. Well, I shouldn't be surprised. I mean, the Midnight Special had all the best acts, especially of the 70s, featured. So I shouldn't be surprised. It just never occurred to me to look for David Bowie on the Midnight Special. So, yo, Amy, that was awesome, man. That was great, man. When that started off and the visuals started going, oh man, the tingles and the chills that I felt, that was something else. You guys have heard me mention this a million times, and I'm going to mention it again. My favorite Soul Train moment was David Bowie. Now, my favorite Soul Train performer is Thelma Houston. My favorite Soul Train moment was David Bowie. When David Bowie showed up on Soul Train, man, yo, my mom especially, and all of her friends and girlfriends were just packed in the house, and they were all giddy like schoolgirls. They just loved the hell out of David Bowie. And that was the first time that David Bowie really caught my ear and my attention. And then I go into school the next day, and my teachers and the guidance counselors, they're all talking about it. It was a really, really big deal, having a white guest on Soul Train. And it was so important to my mom. I remember it being my favorite Soul Train moment. David Bowie. He performed Golden Years and Fame. He was either high or drunk as hell, but you know what? He was on it, man. Now, mind you, Soul Train, a lot of the artists weren't allowed to actually sing, so he had to lip sync. But, even in doing so, it was still a great performance, man. That's why I would put Midnight Special just one tier above Soul Train, just because of that. In some cases with Soul Train, some performers are like, nope, I am not going to show up unless I actually do my own damn singing. Elton John comes to mind, Stevie Wonder, Bill Withers, they put their foot down, right? But I guess in the earlier stages of Soul Train, it had some sort of, clause, it was the law, whatever the case may be back then. I'm sure it had some sort of legalities wrapped up in it. So, all right, man, enough reminiscing. Let's get on the structure. Get on point. Space Oddity, what can you say about this song? Damn. And with David Bowie, I got such a history with this guy, man. My introduction to David Bowie, besides Soul Train, and I didn't make the connection for a while. What I'm talking about is really my first introduction to David Bowie was when he made that triumphant return in the 80s. So I grew up in the 80s, and that's when he came onto my radar. And then it took me a while to make the connection that this is the guy that performed on Soul Train. This is the same guy. He actually had probably more of an impressive career in the 70s. And so all of these dots and bells started going off in my head, and these connections. And so when I went towards, or I knew that I was about to start a classic rock reaction channel, I was saying to myself, yeah, put a pin in this. David Bowie's going to be huge on my channel. And, I hadn't gotten to the point of Artist of the Month or anything like that yet. And so when I got to Artist of the Month, in my mind, I do a lot of assumptions, and I'm wrong when I assume most of the time. I assumed the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, all of these people would be Artist of the Month, like 1, 2, 3, 4, including David Bowie. And none of these artists that I've mentioned became Artist of the Month, And so I was like, wow, it's really interesting how it all works. I'm not disappointed, but I'm just perplexed and a little bit surprised sometimes, when you think about it. So with David Bowie, it's always been a great, one great discovery after another for me about him, and his relevance over the period of time. Oh, man, what can you say about it, And how many artists do you know? There's probably a number of them, but he comes to mind right away in regards to being relevant from the beginning of his career all the way to the very end, and keeping his whole fan base. Not just keeping his fan base, but adding to it as time goes along. Man, I'm telling you, what a legacy this guy's left. So, see, I went off again. All right. Let's hit up some structure, man. So, but yeah, my original thought was I got to know David Bowie in the 80s when he made his triumphant return. He had a nice suit. He was a distinguished looking gent. He was a little older, wiser. He'd cleaned up. And of course, he came on to the scene with Modern Love and Little China Girl and Let's Dance and all of these great tracks. And then the discovery that, he had, like I said, a great career in the 70s, man, that was just overwhelming, how impressed I was with him. Anyways, needless to say, I've always liked this guy, man. Even though I wasn't so much focused on classic rock in my younger years and in my early adult years, But you know, this guy was always one of those people that I respected, even though I didn't know a lot about him. Okay, enough reminiscing. Going off again. Space Oddity. Space Oddity is a song written and recorded by English singer-songwriter David Bowie. It was first released as a 7-inch single on the 11th of July in '69, before appearing as the opening track of his second studio album, David Bowie. It became one of Bowie's signature songs and one of 4 of his songs to be included in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's 500 songs that shaped rock and roll. Wow, man. Sometimes you only need one damn song, right? Inspired by Stanley Kubrick's film 2001, A Space Odyssey, released in '68, with a title that plays on the film's title, the song is about the launch into space of Major Tom, a fictional astronaut, and was released during a period of great interest in space flight. The US's Apollo 11 mission would launch 5 days later and would become the first manned moon landing another 5 days after that. The lyrics have also been seen to lampoon the British space program, which was, and still is, an unmanned project. Bowie revisited his Major Tom character in the 1980 lead single Ashes to Ashes, From Scary Monsters and Super Creeps, and the 1995 single Hello Space Boy from Outside, the third and final single released from that album. Okay, I didn't know that. In addition, Major Tom possibly influenced the music video for Black Star, released in 2015, off of Bowie's final studio album off of the same name. It says final twice. Space Oddity. Space Oddity was Bowie's first single to chart in the UK. It reached the top 5 in its initial release and received the 1970 Ivor Novello Special Award for Originality. His second album, originally released as David Bowie in the UK, was renamed after the track for its 1972 re-release by RCA Records and became known by this name. In '75, upon re-release, as part of a maxi single, the song became Bowie's first UK #1 single. Man, there's a lot of information about this too. Yeah, okay, let's read this last paragraph here. In 2013, the song gained renewed popularity following its recording 44 years after Bowie by Canadian astronaut Chris Hadfield, who performed the song with slightly revised lyrics while aboard the International Space Station, and therefore became the first music video shot in space. In January of 2016, the song re-entered singles charts around the world following Bowie's death, which included becoming Bowie's first single to top the French singles chart. Wow. It's great information about this song, man. And, well, let's stop there. I can go on and read more, but yeah, we get the overall big picture of it. And this is just kind of like, in Wikipedia, you know, you've got the top intro body, and then you've got breakdowns of times and history and lyrical meanings and all of that sort of thing. Yeah, we would be an hour here, man. So let's check out our next track. Excuse my damn throat. Aladdin Sane. It says 1913 to 38, and then to 1970 with a question mark. Okay, Aladdin Sane. Aladdin Sane 2013 remaster. Let's get it.
Watching him dash away, swinging an old bouquet, dead roses, sake and strange divine. You'll make it. Passion with bright young thing. fixing her way to war. Don't fake it, sagging the sandal strings. You'll make it. We'll love a lot insane. Battle cries and champagne, just in time for sunrise. We'll love a lot insane. Motor sensational, Paris or maybe hell. I'm waiting, clutches of sad remains. Wait for Aladdin saying, you'll make it. We'll love Aladdin insane. Million sweet fountain, just in case of sunrise. We'll love Aladdin insane. We'll love Aladdin insane. We'll love Aladdin insane.
This is this is an anti-war song. This is a protest song. He's trying to say that you gotta be insane to volunteer to go to war. Many of us have been there. The lights are bright on Broadway. George Benson. Check out that rendition. Wow. It can totally distract you from what he's really saying in this song, can it? With the great instrumentals. You got the sexy sax and you got that incredible piano solo. And of course his great smooth singing voice in it can totally distract you from the message of the song. He's saying, yo, give your damn head a shake. what the hell are you volunteering to go to war for? There's got to be something wrong with you if you willingly volunteer to go to war. Get yourself shut up. That's what he's saying. In a really, really nice, creative way. Aladdin Sane. I can see why this is one of your favorite songs, Amy. Get that echo out of my ear. I can see why this is one of your favorite songs, man. Aladdin Sane. Okay. And so these dates, 1913, 38, okay. And the question mark behind it. That's a question as to when the Vietnam War is going to end. Okay. I see what's happening there with those dates. All right. Aladdin Sane is a song by English singer-songwriter David Bowie, the title track from his 1973 album Aladdin Sane, described by biographer David Buckley as the album's pivotal song. It saw Bowie moving more into experimental music styles following the success of his breakthrough glam rock release, The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars in '72. Title. The name is a pun on Aladdin Sane, and it was inspired by Bowie's half-brother Terry, who had been diagnosed as a schizophrenic. An early variation was Love Aladdin Vain, which Bowie dropped partly because of its drug connotations. The dates in parentheses refer to the years preceding World War I and World War II, with the third unknown date reflecting Bowie's belief in an impending World War III. Okay. I thought it was a question as to when does this damn Vietnam War ends, but yeah, okay, that has an even more significant tone to it. An impending World War III, yeah, so many people back then, man, living under so much stress, quiet desperation as I call it, and these artists with their environment, they had so much to write about, so much to express, A part of that creative renaissance period was these troubled times, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, there's so many reasons why we will not probably see another creative renaissance again, And when I say that, I'm talking about the same atmospheric times, the times of strife, the times of stress, quiet desperation, wondering if you're going to be alive in the next couple of years to see your children grow, stuff like that, man. I'm telling you, props to our parents and grandparents. They went through a lot of shit. All right, music and lyrics. David Bowie wrote Aladdin Sane in December of '72 as he sailed back to the UK following the first leg of his US Ziggy Stardust tour. The subject matter was inspired by a book he was reading, Evelyn Wau's Vile Bodies, later filmed as Bright Young Things, a phrase that also appears in the song's lyrics. Bowie saw in Wau's story of frivolous, decadent, and silly behavior on the eve of imminent catastrophe, a reflection of contemporary society, particularly in America. At Bridge School Benefit X in '96, Bowie played the song acoustically and reflected that the song was about young people just before the two wars, wanting to go and screw girls and kill foreigners. Unquote. The song features a piano solo by Mike Garson, an American keyboardist who had recently joined Bowie's band. Bowie politely rejected Garson's initial solo attempts, one in a blues style, the other Latin, asking the pianist for something akin to the avant-garde jazz scene in the 60s. Garson obliged with the performance heard on the album, improvised and recorded in one take. In '99, he remarked, quote, "I've had more communication in the last 26 years about that one solo than the 11 albums I've done on my own, the 6 that I've done with another group that I'm co-founder of, hundreds of pieces I've done with other people, and the 3,000 pieces of music I've written to date. I don't think there's been a week in those 26 years that have gone by without someone somewhere asking me about it." That's Bowie. Garson remembered Bowie's guidance in making the solo come out the way it did. Quote, "I had told Bowie about the avant-garde thing. When I was recording the Aladdin Sane track for Bowie, It was just two chords, an A and a G chord, and the band was playing very simple English rock and roll. And Bowie said, "Play a solo on this." I had just met him, so I played a blues solo, but then he said, "No, that's not what I want." And then I played a Latin solo. Again, Bowie said, No, that's not what I want." He then continued, "You told me you play that avant-garde music. Play that stuff." Big exclamation points. And I said, "Are you sure? Because you might not be working anymore." Alright, so I did the solo that everybody knows today in one take. I always tell people that Bowie is the best producer I ever met because he lets me do anything I want. Rolling Stone's Contemporary Review described the music as hot house Orientalism. Jagged, dissonant, and daring, yet so wistful and backward looking. Damn, man, let me read that shit again. Rolling Stone's Contemporary Review described the music as hot house Orientalism. Jagged, dissonant, and daring, yet also wistful and backward looking. Okay, I see what they mean. I had to wrap my head around that, boy. Damn. That's what you gotta, that's how you qualify as being a critic, man. You got this complex vocab. Writing in 81, NME editors Roy Carr and Charles Shar Murray considered the song one of Bowie's early European pieces while comparing Garçon's piano playing to Cecil Taylor. Reviewing the 30th anniversary edition of Aladdin Sane in 2003, Sydney Morning Herald music critic Bernard Zuhl also related the track to the composer's later work, finding the to and fro between art and dramatic pop in the song provides a bridge between Bowie's pre-fame leanings and his mid-70s decamp to Berlin. Did you guys get all of that? Damn, man. That was one long ass. That was like 7 sentences, man. All in one, no breaks. Biographer David Buckley has said that at the time of its release, Aladdin Sane was the clearest indicator of how Bowie was trying to free himself from the confines of rock. Okay, that's an interesting point of view. Yeah, okay, I can understand that point of view. Very interesting. I think it's more accurate, though, in regards to especially a young person wanting to volunteer to go to war, you know? All right, Aladdin Sane. Great track. Never heard it before. Totally understand why it's one of your faves, Amy. Let's hit up our next one, man. And that being probably one of everyone's favorite, Fame. And this is live in 1978. Let's get it. I love how he had that
Carlos Alomar,
spotlight. Oh,
my rhythm guitarist, had a riff that I'd been using for foot stomping, the old rock and roll. Everybody young and old learns how to rock and roll. And we sort of said, let's take that riff and then write something over it.
Right.
It was Carlos's riff. And then John was playing, and he kept on coming up with,
I'll give you the guitar.
like that. And I
is the
said,
guitar.
oh yeah, right. This is John Lennon saying aim. Aim. And I put an F in front of it, and that was it, really.
oh wow. That's right. I almost forgot. John Lennon also has a writing credit on Fame. The little things you forget about. Fantastic, man. Nice little interview too. Yeah, I was saying I really like that spotlight on him. That was really nice, man. Great. He's got a really strong, commanding stage presence. It's not that he's so crazy animated or he's dancing all over the place or anything like that. It's just how he is expressing himself as he's delivering the lyrics. You know, his gestures, really, really cool, and it just commands and arrests your attention. And again, I'm going back to Soul Train, man. My favorite Soul Train moment. So this Fame was coupled with Golden Years. So Golden Years, and then it segued right into Fame. And yeah, man, and he was that artist, very, very rare on Soul Train, that had a double shot, you know. So I'm telling you, for so many reasons, you know, I would never, ever, ever forget David Bowie on Soul Train. And I got to share some of that shit with you right here.
Yes, my name is David Vincent. How you doing? And is it true that you're going to be teaming up with Elizabeth Taylor to do a film?
No.
Some of these days and it won't be long. Gonna drive back down where you once belonged. In the back of a dream car, 20 foot long. Don't cry, my sweet, don't break my heart. Doing all right, we've got to get smart. Wish upon day, I believe, oh Lord, I believe all the way. Run for the shadows, run for the shadows in these golden years. There's my baby, lost her soul. One time making you save a little golden years. Don't let me hear you say life's taking you nowhere. Angel, come with the baby. Run for the shadows, run for the shadows, run for the shadows in these All right, man. So, my favorite Soul Train moment, brother, David Bowie. So, man, and John Lennon having a writing credit, fantastic. And again, the creative renaissance, man. All of these great artists rubbing shoulders with each other, writing for each other, influencing each other. You know, it's just wonderful. When I do my Led Zeppelin Part 5, How the West Was Won, I'm going to be talking about that. I'm going to be giving props to a very special musical artist. So you got to tune into Led Zeppelin, How the West Was Won, Part 5. It's coming right after this reaction.
Alright, so, Fame. You see what I did there? Fame. Fame is a song recorded by English singer-songwriter David Bowie. It was released on his 75 album Young Americans and was later issued as the album's second single by RCA Records in July of 75. Written by Bowie, Carlos Alomar, and former Beatle John Lennon, it was recorded at Electric Lady Studios in New York in January of 75. It's a funk rock song that represents Bowie's and Lennon's dissatisfaction with the troubles of fame and stardom. Yeah, man, Lennon had his share of troubles with fame too. That song, The Ballad of John and Yoko, great Lennon tune, man. The song was a major commercial success in North America, becoming Bowie's first #1 single on both the US Billboard Hot 100 and the Canadian Singles Chart. The song was one of more successful singles of the year, ranking at #7 on the Billboard Year-End Hot 100. However, it was less successful in Europe, reaching #17 in the UK Singles Chart. In 1990, Bowie remixed the song under the title Fame 90 to coincide with his Sound and Vision tour. Fame has since appeared on many compilation albums and was remastered in 2016 as part of the Who Can I Be Now 1974-76 box set. The song is one of 4 of Bowie's songs to be included in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's 500 songs that shaped rock and roll. Man, I tell you, so much info on this song, man. I gotta bounce about. Bowie would later describe Fame as nasty and angry, and fully admitted that it was written with a degree of malice aimed at the main man. This is supported by biographer Peter Doggett, who writes, "Every time in Fame that Bowie snapped back with a cynical retort about its pitfalls, he had DeFries and DeFries' epic folly in mind, and noted the lyric, 'Bully for you, chili for me,' as the striking example." In 1990, Bowie recalled the song as his least favorite track on the album, and reflected, quote, "I'd had very upsetting management problems, and a lot of that was built into the song. I've left all that behind me now. I think Fame itself is not a rewarding song." Okay, I think Fame itself is not a rewarding song. The most you can say is that it gets you a seat in restaurants. Okay, sorry, no, this is, that didn't make sense. I think Fame itself is not a rewarding thing. Okay, the most you can say is that it gets you a seat in restaurants. It should be reading thing, not song. Okay, that makes more sense. Fame became Bowie's first song to top the Billboard Hot 100, displacing Rhinestone Cowboy by Glen Campbell during the week of the 20th of September in 75. For the week of the 20th of September in 75, Fame dropped to #2 behind John Denver's I'm Sorry for a Week, before returning to the top spot for one final week, ultimately being replaced at #1 by Neil Sedaka's Bad Blood. Bowie would later claim that he had absolutely no idea that the song would do so well as a single, saying, quote, "I wouldn't know how to pick a single if it hit me in the face. I wouldn't know how to pick a hit single if it hit me in the face." Despite Fame being Bowie's then biggest success on the American charts, the song only reached #17 in the UK. David Thompson of AllMusic calls the track a hard, funking dance storm whose lyrics, a hostile riposte on the personal cost of success, utterly belie the upbeat tempo and feel of the song. Following Bowie's death in 2016, Rolling Stone listed it as one of Bowie's 30 essential songs. In 2018, the writers of NME, in their list of Bowie's 41 greatest songs, ranked Fame at #21. The song is one of 4 of Bowie's songs to be included in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's 500 songs that shaped rock and roll. Okay. There we go, and that's the information that we've got for Fame. So much information, but I'm bouncing around. I'm skipping over all of the dates and specific details and all of the history and stuff like that. Yo, it's just too much reading in one sitting for a reaction here. All right, great song though, man. Got me some precious memories attached to that song, let me tell you. So let's hit up our last track, man. This is what I grew up being familiar with where David Bowie's concerned. One of my first tracks that kind of introduced me to him growing up in the 80s, Let's Dance. So this is Let's Dance Live, David Bowie. Let's get it. That bass guitar is as big as she is.
That's Holly and M on vocals on it. Mark Claddy on guitar. Dance the blues to the song that plays on the radio. While color lights up your face, sway through the room to an empty space. If you say run, I'll run with you. If you say hide, we'll hide. Because my love for you, it would break my heart in two. You should fall into my arms, trembling like
Leading.
Oh, feel your grace to fall. Let's dance, for fear this night is all. You could look into my eyes.
Where are they?
If you should fall into my arms, trembling like a put on your red shoes and dance the blues to the song that played on the radio.